Yes guys, good evening to all. This evening I am going to do a video of the Gun Hill signal station here in the parish of St. George once again, which is in the central uplands of Barbados, starting from the above terrace overlooking the St. George Valley. So this is the Gun Hill signal station overlooking the St. George Valley on the south of the island, which is in the parish of Christchurch. That's good. The restaurant section, and this is the beverage section where you purchase your drinks and so on. So yes, I'm heading now down to the signal station itself. So this is the Fusiliers Cafe and Bar this way. I just showed you. So I'm going to the signal station itself. So again, I'm in the parish of St. George, which is in the center of the island. St. George and St. Thomas are the two parishes in Barbados, best referred to as the heart of Barbados, or the central uplands of Barbados. There is no sea nor coastline in these parishes. These are the two landlocked parishes in Barbados. Looking back down to the bottom terrace, and I'm heading to the above terrace now, which will give even more spectacular views of the St. George Valley, and 6 out of the 11 parishes can be seen from this vantage point as well. So once again, I'm at the Gun Hill signal station here in St. George. The Gun Hill signal station. And this is the lion statue at the bottom of the hill here. And this is the history of the Gun Hill signal station here. The lion statue here. Yes guys, this is the above terrace now, looking over to the below here where these cars are passing is the Gun Hill Road in St. George. And you can see all down to walkers in St. George. So you can see the lion statue at Gun Hill, which is just down below here. I'm looking in a southeasterly direction. You can see all up to the airport, the Grantley Adams International Airport, which is Barbados' only port of entry by air. You can see it from here in the southeasterly direction in Christchurch, where the big white ball is. And you can see in St. Philip, which is southeast. You can see all up to the Queen Beach. You can see the St. Martin's Church in St. Philip, which is southeast. You can see the Foul Bay Beach in St. Philip, also southeast. You can see all down to the Glebe area in St. George. And we can see the St. George Parish Church over here. The second oldest place of worship. St. George Parish Church is the second oldest place of worship. Built in 1641 and rebuilt in 1784. So we can see all down to all of the walkers in St. George, and all of the Glebe, all of the Charles River Bridge and Salters. You can see the south coast. You can see all the Boarded Hall by the estates at St. George, in Boarded Hall, St. George. And we can see the Blackman and Gollop School, which is at Staple Grove in Christchurch. All here the south side I'm looking at. We can see into Bridgetown, which is the country's capital. You can see the Carlisle Bay area, which is along the southwest coast of Barbados, along the southwest coast, along just outside of Bridgetown. We can see the Hilton Hotel and the Central Bank of Barbados as well. You can see the Roberts Manufacturing Company at Lower Estate in St. George.
Music plays a huge role in our culture, but many may visit our shores for a more natural setting. And
This
the
is
invitation
a
to
TV
step out
giving
into the great outdoors is
a brief
waiting
detail
for all interested.
of Barbados
Try
and
scuba
the
diving,
events that take
surfing,
place in
and other water
Barbados.
sports with a wide range of operators across the island. Strap on your running shoes and jump into the Run Barbados Marathon event, or take in 18 holes on picturesque golf courses on par with Canyon Rumble and enjoy cricket in Kensington Oval.
So right now I'm 700 feet above sea level, and I'm in the parish of St. George, which is in the center of the island. St. George can best be referred to as the heart of Barbados, or the central uplands of Barbados. There is no sea nor coastline in this parish, neither St. Thomas, the two central parishes, St. George and St. Thomas. And St. George was carved out of St. Michael between 1640 and 1641. So St. Michael is the mother parish, and St. George was carved out of it. St. George is also the breadbasket parish of Barbados, and it is also an agricultural parish. St. George, the parish with the most agriculture taking place is St. George, and it has a lot of ground provisions, and it can be sold at plantations. In the parish of St. George, like Brighton Farmers Market, which is at the south side of St. George. Over this side, and they also have the Valley Plantation, Brighton Plantation and Farmers Market, Sweetvale Plantation, and they also have Buckley Plantation, all in St. George. And St. George is also my father's birth parish, where my father was born and raised. And for those of you who don't know who my father is, Satchmore that sings, or that used to sing What You Got to Give Me for Christmas, and I'm a proud Barbadian, is my father. He used to write songs for Wendy Allen, Carolyn Leacock, Shara Hackett. He wrote a Beautiful and Unspoiled for Shara Hackett in 1978. That is the most popular song sung in Barbados, played across the airwaves. Beautiful and Unspoiled by Shara Hackett. You can look it up. And St. George, this Gun Hill signal station is the highest point in this breadbasket parish of St. George. And you can see the St. George Parish Church, which is the second oldest place of worship in Barbados, built in 1641 and rebuilt in 1784. St. George Parish Church, and you can see the St. George Secondary School in the background at Constant in St. George. And we're looking in a westerly direction now, where we can see the Warren's business and commercial area, which is known as the city, away from the city, where businesses started moving out of town into the area. This is the CBC antenna here at Gun Hill in St. George. In order to take you inside the signal station itself, the Gun Hill signal station was established in 1818, and it was later restored by the Barbados National Trust on the opened on the 24th of November 1982 by the Prime Minister of the day, the Right Honourable John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams, referred to by many Barbadians as Tom Adams, who was the Queen's Counsel and Member of Parliament, and Barbados' second Prime Minister. And it was opened on the 24th of November 1982 and restored by the Barbados National Trust. Also a building of historic and architectural interest. All the National Trust sites have this blue logo on it with the Barbados National Trust, and it either has building of historic interest or historic and architectural interest. So we'll start from this room first before proceeding to the This is the restoration of Gun Hill signal station in 1982. And the history and the genesis of the signal station and lookouts within the context of the Atlantic world. And the lookouts and vantage points in Barbados, a defensive necessity. And from Bricks Hill to Gun Hill, it was Bricks Hill first, and it got renamed to Gun Hill as a Gun Hill. This is a map of Barbados from 1728. So this is the beautiful rural parish of St. George here in Barbados. And this is Prince Edward, who visited Gun Hill Signal Station on the 1st of March 1987, and he planted the Sixium malacense tree, known as the palmerat. This is the picture to show. And this is Prince Edward revisiting Gun Hill on the 29th of April 1992. So we're looking back into the St. George Valley. The south side of St. George, like over this side there I'm looking at, St. George South, is lush and full of greenery. The old kitchen utensils they used to use back in those days. You can see some cattle in the field over this side of St. George as well. And the old utensils that they used to use back in those days. Walking up to the steps to the top of the signal station. So looking in the center, in the western direction, and this is the center of the island. You can see the other half of St. George with Market Hill, and that area with the Cuthbertmore Primary School. And you can see the former West Indies Records Limited, or Appalachia, which used to produce records for reggae music. calypso music, soca music, spooge music, and other forms of Caribbean music. Upper which is border St. Thomas and St. George. You can see St. Thomas as well. Jack in the Box Gully. You can see all at the Harrison Scale area and Sturgis. You can see the other half of the CBC antenna, which is at Sturgis in St. Thomas. CBC is our radio and television station here in Barbados. CBC stands for Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. They have one here in Sturgis over here, and one here at Gun Hill, St. George. And you can see all at Grandview Heights and Shop Hill, St. Thomas. You can see a better view now of the St. George Valley. So thank you guys for watching now once again, and have a blessed evening.